Hi, it's Joanna here, and I'm creating content for you about emotional alignment life coaching. So, I've been creating content to build another new channel, which is a personal development and life coaching channel. And the first thing that I'm creating content about is emotional alignment life coaching. You see, after I was interviewed by Dave Mack, I received a request for a life coaching session from Virginia. And she had great success in her first session. She came with a 5-month weight loss stall as a problem. And she reported to me 5 weeks after the session, where we were finally able to catch up again. She reported that the weight loss stall had broken and she'd lost 6 pounds in the 5 weeks. The great thing about emotional alignment life coaching is that it's not about consciously training you to behave in a different way. It's quite the opposite. We dive deeply into your history to find out at what point in time and what happened to train your subconscious to give you instructions to do something or not do something that worked as a safety mechanism back then, but it's not working anymore. In fact, it's quite the opposite. It's holding you back. And so I'm bringing this 9-part series to my carnivore channel because carnivores have problems that carnivore can't solve. And emotional alignment might be your best bet. And I'm looking for volunteers currently to be filmed, as well as normal clients who don't want to be filmed and would rather pay for their session. Either way. And I'm also building a life coaching and personal development channel called School of Self. So please don't consider that your problems are not big enough to warrant emotional alignment life coaching. They're not too big, they're not too small, they're not too anything. If they're problems and they're there to be solved. You have a zero tolerance policy for anxiety and you have a few hurdles that you can't just can't figure out how to jump over, you keep slamming into them. Send me an email. Ask me a question. Find out what this is all about. Come and spend some time. Let me film you and it won't cost you a thing. I really am determined to help as many people as possible, and carnivores are great people, and I'm a carnivore and I'm great people. So I'm sharing this series here because my first brave emotional alignment life coaching client who agreed to be filmed is carnivore.
I'm so grateful to you, Joanna. What you do is so valuable. It's life-changing.
Sweeteners, maybe coffee. Yeah, coffee. I'm going to try to get help getting off coffee. I can't wait for a reply.
Welcome back to episode 7 of our 9-part series on emotional alignment life coaching, using Virginia's emotional alignment life coaching session as an example. This episode, we are going to bring the emotions of self-blame to our intellect. And we're going to use our conscious thoughts to discover the context of this self-blaming. It's a very interesting task to undertake, to investigate intellectually your emotional responses. It's not something that we're trained to do or taught to do, and I believe we're not even shown how to do it. I certainly wasn't. I had to go through a very lengthy process of working out how to apply the wisdom of my intellect to the natural automatic responses of my emotional self and combining them in a very wise and clever way so that I could develop emotional alignment coaching for myself and work through so many emotional responses that I could not understand until I began to apply my conscious, logical thinking to my emotions. So, in this episode, we talk about blame. And my goal was to try to work out whether Virginia actually had a good reason to be self blaming or whether this is just something she's assumed. So, watch along and you'll find out the answer.
Because he didn't have effective counseling. We took him to counseling for years, and it was largely, hugely, awfully ineffective. Um, it was just,
But how are you to blame?
well, I guess because I didn't find the right person for him that could help him. I guess I quit looking.
And who would have who how could it be different than that? If you were his biological mother, I'm trying to find out whether deep down there is this belief inside of you. If you were his biological mother, you would have solved the problem for him. Even though we know consciously that isn't true. How is it that you can blame yourself when you did everything that you could possibly think of? Tell me why you blame yourself. Why is there blame?
Because I'm the adult and he's a child. Guess I'm his parent. I guess because I had a responsibility to help, raise
Do
him
you
to
believe that
adulthood.
you failed in your responsibility?
Um, well, I think I did everything I could at the time.
There
I
you
know at the
go.
time I felt like,
Okay. So that's what I'm looking for. You did not fail in your responsibility. Yeah. But you still have an equation. Remember when we did our first session, I talked about the equation. So you you have two equations going on. When I asked you, the energy changed completely when I asked you about whether you failed in your responsibility as a parent. And the answer is no, you do not feel. You did everything that you could do at the time. However, just before that,
yeah,
when I was saying, do you blame yourself? You say, yes, I blame myself. Now, how can you blame yourself
right,
and at the same time have taken full responsibility? Yeah. So there is something going on that's hiding in that blame
yeah.
equation. Yeah.
Okay, yes,
Because
I understand what
there
you're
is,
saying. Right,
there is,
yeah,
okay. So did you ever do algebra at school? Long, long time.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
Me too.
yep,
So sometimes you have A plus B equals C. Yes. Now,
right,
C is the
yep,
result. And you have two things that came together that made a result. So when we did algebra at school,
Right.
we said, okay, if C is 20 and A is 5, what's B? And you had to go, oh, well, I'm looking at the result and I know one of the variables is not variable. So now I can figure out, I can guess pretty much that B is 15. That's what you're doing.
Right.
Your son is having an anger problem, a realistic, justifiable rage anger problem. Yeah?
Yeah.
That's C.
Yeah.
That's C in the equation. That's the result.
Okay.
Yeah? Now,
Yeah.
A is
Yeah.
who? And B, like what and who is A and B? You have guilt and blame. Yeah?
Uh-huh.
Say that's A. You have
Yeah.
guilt and blame. And here is your result.
Yeah.
And you have a child that came to your home and your heart when he was 5 years old, tortured basically for 5 years in foster care, alone, separated from his sibling, not belonging.
Right.
You're looking at the results and you're guessing what some of the variables are, because the one thing that you know is that you feel so sorry. You feel so sorry. You gave everything that you had, every thought that you could think of to help him, every ounce of your attention and your love you gave him. Yeah? But you see the result, so you're assuming that one of the variables is that something or someone is not enough. And that's why. But when I ask you about whether you failed at your responsibility as a parent, you like can't think of how you failed because you did everything you could think of. You're not putting that into the equation. And so the what encourages you to feel guilt and put blame on yourself? What encourages you to think that in this case you are not enough? Could it possibly be that somebody taught you that biological parents can give their children more? Yeah? That's been there for a long time. Oh, that's been there for a long time. I'm so sorry you had to deal with that for so long. When Virginia's energy shifted, that's when I knew, here we are. We have arrived at the crux of the issue. We have found the misalignment. And that's what I'm hoping to get to with everyone. And this is the point of realization. When you come to this point where you truly understand what I was first explaining about the subconscious beliefs and the conscious beliefs and how it hurts because you're believing something that you don't want to believe. When you get to this point of realization, it's a very emotionally charged aha moment. And it is that emotional charge, that heightened emotional state that allows your brain to pick up that what's happening right in this moment is really important. This is how it's the same when trauma is embedded, and therefore it's the same when trauma is realigned and healed. And this is what I'm aiming for, is to bring the light of the healing light of consciousness to these misaligned subconscious ideas. It's incredibly powerful And as you can see, it's like ripping off a Band-Aid because it does hurt, but it's just a very, very small amount of time. It's not the kind of hurt that's going to kill you. It's the kind of hurt that is going to heal you. So don't forget to like, subscribe, click the notification bell, follow along. We are coming towards the home straight of this series, 9-part series of emotional alignment life coaching. I hope you're learning a lot. If you're interested in participating in the next series, or you'd like to just be part of a discussion panel, send me an email. Put your hand up and tell me what you're putting your hand up for. I'd love to hear your story.
I'm so grateful to you, Joanna. What you do is so valuable. It's life-changing.
Sweeteners, maybe coffee. Yeah, coffee. I'm going to try to get help getting off coffee. I can't wait for a reply.